Still holding. Le canot est allongé. Flip the switch.
Übersmüllert. It's albedo.
In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
Boom, and welcome to the Project Freedom Podcast, episode number 33, where we live on the life of Jonathan McAfee. May God rest his beautiful, beautiful soul. Tonight, guys, we are going to talk about how to be a Spartan in the most ethical, beautiful, amazing way. But first, I want you guys to see something here that I found very, very unsettling and disturbing, and I want to go ahead and share this with you guys. Tell me what you guys think about this. This is a video clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger from the good old days, back when we loved him, back when he wasn't a insert adjective, name, whatever here. All right. And then there is a clip of him in modern times where, let's just say, he is a little bit less savory, to say the least. And I'm not sure, honestly, guys, I have been unable to share my screen with volume. So here, let me do something ghetto real quick. Let me put the mic next to the screen and tell me what you guys think about this.
Being free to choose for me means being free to make your own decisions. Screw your freedom. Free to live your own life. Screw your freedom. Pursue your own goals. Screw your freedom. Chase your own rainbow. Without the government breathing down on your neck or standing on your shoes. Screw your freedom.
That's right.
Being free to choose for
Screw
me
your
means
freedom,
being
guys.
free to make your own decisions.
Screw your freedom.
Free to live your own life. Screw your freedom. Pursue your own goals. Screw your freedom. Chase your own rainbow. Without the government breathing down on your neck or standing on your shoes. Screw your freedom.
All right, you guys heard it here first. You heard it here first from good old Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. Screw your freedom, right, guys? Screw your freedom. How do you guys think about that? Would you guys say that good old Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Spartan? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe in a picture show. I would say that he is not. I would say that he used to be and no longer is. Let me check in with the chat real quick. Claybuster in the house says, legend says, the women sent the men off saying this. With this or upon this, history says Spartans served the phalanx. How do you pronounce that, Sam? Phalanx unit. Oh, the phalanx. Their shield was not just to protect them, but also the men on their left. I like it. I dig it. Sam saying yes, sticker. Cody Moose in the hoose saying, what is up, gentlemen? What is up, Cody Moose? Christian Soto in the chat with the peace sign, cowboy emojis, because I am indeed a cowboy at heart. I'm just a good old boy. I was never meaning no harm, guys. Never meaning no harm. Unlike that man, good old Arnold over there. He was definitely meaning some harm. Wade says, what is up? Orange pill emojis. Your boy Cliff says, what's up? What's up, Cliff? Good to see you. Farns 4, evening, gents. Evening to you. Sam says, bro, just learned to code. Yes, indeed. Patricio says, John Corbin did nothing wrong. Patricio, I still am a little bit confused as to what was going on, what you said. And it wasn't because of your English. It's not because I understood what you said per se in the Telegram chat. I'm just confused as to what was done maliciously And also, Da Vinci J 16 or is it 14? Da Vinci J 14. Did he do something malicious too? Like I felt it. What I was reading was like, oh, they were trying to help and they got in trouble for something. I'm not sure. Wait, says Arnold can suck something. Yes, he can, dude. Also Chain with the orange pill emoji in the house. Yeah, guys, my question to Mr. Arnold is, what have you done to give them, you guys know the parentheses, them, what have you done to give them enough dirt to turn you into one of their little chess pieces, Arnold? That's what I want to know. What were you doing, Arnold? I think I can make a couple guesses. Hopefully my guesses are incorrect because that would definitely ruin a lot of my childhood. But hey, sometimes, guys, you meet your heroes and your heroes go to zero. So tonight, how to be a Spartan, guys. How to be a Spartan. What does that mean? What does being a Spartan do for you as far as like a benefit to you as a human being, as a living, breathing humanoid bound to this global little whatever the F you want to call the earth anymore. I mean, guys, there's all kinds of craziness going on. We got like hurricanes, we got fires, we got earthquakes, we got the Taliban, we've got the orange man, we've got the ice cream man, we've got the orange coin, we've got, I mean, I can sit here all night long, guys, and just tell you all the weird things that are going on right now. Good God, it is a sick and sad world, but hey, you got to enjoy the decline, like Mr. Good Old Aaron Clary says, right? Enjoy the decline. And I think, you guys know, what I mean by that. F's in the chat for the 70s, Arnold. Yep, F's in the chat, boys. Fake news has never been faker. Yes. No, guys, the news would never lie to you. The news is your friend, right? And speaking of being a Spartan, in order to be a Spartan, one of the things that I suggest you to do is to flat out just ignore the news. Just don't even listen to it. Literally live as if the news is not even a real thing. In fact, when you see the news, let's just say you're living that Spartan life and you go into the gym and it's time to suffer. It's time to get some suffering done. You see the news on the TV and your headphones happen to be out for a quarter of a second and you hear something like, it's all over. Oh my God, it's all over. Then you just laugh. You just laugh at it. You're like, these people are fucking morons. Like, get out of here. So guys, back on the topic. What does it mean to be a Spartan? All right. So when you have a specific goal that you want to achieve, all right, and it's probably, if anyone has a quote unquote goal, it's probably something that most likely cannot be done overnight, all right? Whether it's to get a certain skill, to learn something, to study something, to achieve something, to get a better physique, to get X amount of dollar amounts in your portfolio, to move somewhere, to lift a certain number on a bench press or a squat or whatever, all right, to get a certain physical object that you know is very hard to get, whatever it is, or maybe a combination of all these things. You have to assume that this goal is not going to be done easily. It's going to take some time. Definitely can't be done overnight. And so what do? Do you continue to live the life that you are living now that has not gotten you your goal, that has not gotten you that result? No, you don't. All right. Let me just pick one goal, an example. I'll pick two. All right. I'll pick two because these two are like the ones that are pretty much, they're honestly, guys, these goals are goals that I have that are pretty much going to be ever present throughout my entire life, as far as I'm concerned at this current time. All right. One is to stay in good physical shape. And two is to accumulate as much cryptocurrency as I can, because what I believe, and I guess this doesn't matter, but what I believe is that is an asset class that I can use most beneficially for anything. I don't have to like, write notes when I put it on a plane, because quite frankly, when you go on a plane, you don't put it on a plane. That is, and in actuality, I won't even say accumulate as much cryptocurrency as I can. All right. But that's kind of like the sub goal of the goal. It is to accumulate as much wealth, not riches, but wealth as I possibly can, because eventually one day I want to be finished working, and I want to only do things that I want to do because I want to do them. All right. And it's not like I don't have a good life to do it right now, but I'm just Just saying, guys. I want to be able to be so financially secure that if I want to like start some kind of like some sort of software product that I know is going to be extremely hard to do and extremely tedious and extremely impossible without years and years and years of work, because I just want to do this. I want to know that I have enough wealth to generate me income and able to go forward. And at the same time, also the other goal as well would be to stay physically fit. All right. So what do these two things require? Well, off the bat, they both require consistency. All right. They both require consistency, and they also both require sacrifice. All right. Sacrifice in more ways than one. This is why I'm using two separate things. All right, guys, not just one, although this can apply to literally any kind of goal if you want to do things the correct way. Okay. And I could actually just apply this to just fitness because if you guys don't know, I used to be a competitive bodybuilder, right? And we talked about that before, blah, 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 blah. And I would essentially live like the Spartan lifestyle. And I would be primarily focused on achieving the level of physical fitness I needed in order to get on a stage and to win. Right. So what you should do is essentially go into what is called the quote unquote Spartan mode. Now it's kind of got a meme-like name, but the name comes from the good old Spartans. You guys know the story of the Spartans, right? They were very dedicated and very, very, very driven men. They didn't let obstacles block them from their path. Basically, the only way over the obstacle is through the obstacle, right? That kind of mindset. And they pretty much gave up like all pleasure and leisure in order to accomplish their goal. So you have your goal, right? You have your goal, and you want to change. You want to have a different kind of lifestyle, because in order to accomplish this goal, it's going to take some work, right? It's not just going to come easy. So in order to first enact that quote unquote Spartan lifestyle, you basically just have to focus on this thing 24/7. All right. You really have to essentially become like hyper obsessed with it. So much to the point to where you quite frankly don't really care about anything else except for achieving this goal. All right. And I know it sounds sick. It sounds sadistic. But a sad reality is if you want to do things 100%, this is the way. This is the way Intensifies GIF goes here. All right. But why am I saying you want to focus on it 24/7? I don't know if this is like, this could be considered like hippie woo-woo shit. But in all honesty, guys, I've found that if you literally just consistently focus on something 24/7, something magic just kind of happens. And the thing that you're focusing on starts to actually become a reality in the three-dimensional world. All right. Now, why is this? Is it because like the law of attraction? No, I don't know if I believe in that per se, but what I think actually happens is because you're so focused on it, you eventually start to become focused on it in the background of your mind, and this act of being focused on it all the time basically leads to you taking more action towards your goal. All right. At the same time, I also believe that this focus takes this constant focus on your goal takes away your action towards negative things or things that could be negative towards your goal, right? Because what happens if you do something like, let's just say the fitness goal, if you're like focused on, all right, I gotta make weight, and I gotta make that weight in like 3 months, like, and I don't have like any more body fat to lose, like, what am I gonna do? Maybe I have to make like 10 pounds, I have to be 10 pounds lighter, and I probably only realistically have like another like 6-7 pounds of body fat to do. So you know that there's going to be some suffering, and you know that any piece of like anything that you put in your mouth is going to gain you any 1/18 of a pound. You're going to be like, all right, like I can't do it because I'm thinking about it all the time. I just can't do it. All right, I can't do it. If you're trying to save money, if you're trying to spend a majority of your excess money in buying digital assets, you buying something stupid that you know is not going to benefit you, all right, other than your necessities, right, guys? I wouldn't recommend, like not paying your bills and not eating food. Obviously, you have to do that, right? So maybe a real Spartan, they might be like, all right, fuck it, I'm not paying the mortgage this month. I gotta get this goal done. And hey, I'm not saying that will end up being bad for you, because it might not. That might actually work in your favor. But That is not what I'm advocating, okay? So you focus on this thing 24/7. You're so hyper focused on it that you kind of develop this like tunnel vision. And in all honesty, guys, just the act of focusing on it, it doesn't seem like much, all right? But it is one step towards the right direction, all right? It is one step towards the right direction, okay? Now, what else do you need to do? Basically, you stay away from all negativity. Literally all of it. Even if that negativity is from a good friend, even if that negativity is from a family member, even if that negativity is from, I don't know, a massive, how can I say this politically correct? A massive, a monster, an invisible monster that travels through the air, right? And you're afraid to breathe and go outside, even if that's negative to you and that's going to stop you from forward progress and focusing. Remember the focus 24/7, focusing on the goal. Stay the fuck away from it. Get away. All right. It doesn't mean you have to stay away from it forever. All right. But if it's going to be negative and it's going to bring your mindset down, you have to get away. All right. Do you guys think that the Spartans, when they were going to prepare for battle, they sat around thinking about like all these problems that they had back at home? Man, I really hope my wife isn't upset about X, Y, and Z, or I really hope that bubonic plague isn't going to wipe out all my family back at home, or man, I really hope that this storm coming isn't going to like shut the lights off. All right, you just can't, because if you are thinking about negative things, what's going to happen is you're going to start thinking about either A, ways to fix those negative things or those problems caused by the negativity, or B, just having bad emotions. And either one, if it's A or B, it's going to drain your energy. All right, guys. And if you need to get after that goal with as much energy and intensity as you possibly can, you cannot spare any energy. Trust me, you can't. All right. This is coming from someone who has a master's degree in not sleeping. All right. You cannot spare any energy on anything negative that's going to take you away from your goal. All right. Let me get caught with the chat. Let us see. Sleeper agent? Yes. Perhaps it is a T-800. Yes. Patricia says, Da Vinci was just a friend of Corbin who used his services to establish himself in Chile. Corbin is in jail because using a firearm in the street as a civilian, it is a serious felony in Chile. Interesting. How did he get if it's a felony there, how did he get hold of a firearm? That would be interesting to know. Sam Perchinsky says several parentheses is a old blockchain. Since biblical times, it is used to wrap everything corrupt. Yes. Antonio says, sup, Gillas. What is up, Antonio? Good to see you in the house tonight. Oso Chain says, quote, but the news. Hold on. Let me read this in the correct voice, Oso Chain. Let me do this correctly for you.
But the news are on TV, and the only people that know stuff are qualified, can speak on TV. Right, exactly. Of course, the only people that are qualified for things are the people that are on TV. Duh. Patricio says, even though Corbin used his firearm to defend himself from an Antifa mob, the woke Chilean judicial system didn't consider self-defense because you can't use firearms in the streets of Chile. How did he get one, though? The hell? That is the question. Alex Catanzos says, is anyone buying NFTs now? I know people who are buying NFTs. I have not currently bought NFTs because I just don't. I have one NFT, guys. I have one NFT, and it's linked to a MetaMask wallet that I lost my seed phrase to. Well, I didn't lose it. I just haven't actually taken the time to find the paper that is in my house. I'm just going to consider it like the lost treasure. And whenever the bull runs over, I'm going to go and look for it, and we're going to figure it out. Going to figure it out. Osa Chain, ELP, what's your current obsession? Good question, man. My current obsession right now, and I'm gonna talk about this thing I call like the inevitable cycle or the inevitability cycle. But my current obsession right now is I would like to get 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube, or at least 10x that very soon, which I know is going to be hard to do because some of the things I talk about are not very YouTube friendly. But I know it can be done with great ease. In actuality, I mean, if I wanted to, I could just like buy subscribers and get there, but that's not what I want to do. I want it to be
real subscribers, real quality subscribers, people who are actually going to watch my things, and people who actually, people who I would actually want to talk to. I would like to have good subscribers. That is a goal, although I don't think that one's like, I said it would be hard. I don't know if it's going to be hard just so much as like time consuming. So I wouldn't say that's an obsession, but that's probably a micro obsession. My second obsession, or I guess my main obsession right now, is to literally stack as much Boomer coin as I possibly can through any and all means. That kind of has been my current obsession since about, I guess, like September of last year. Probably should have been longer than that, but about September of last year. And I also would like to get another watch. I just got my first watch, not my first watch, but my first real watch. And I would like to get another watch. I'm waiting for these people to find one for me because the one that I want is hard to get. And it doesn't seem like much, but that's just my current obsession. And I guess what else is my current obsession? Obviously the same things that I have been, like the gym. I always want to stay in shape. I feel uncomfortable if I don't go to the gym, Osa Chain. It's like one of those things that's like, hey, like if I don't do it, I start to feel like I'm dying. And I already have I've already achieved my physical fitness goals multiple times. And I would say that I'm not like extremely good shape, but I would like to stay in the striking range of where I can, like, if I want to diet for a few weeks, I can be good to go. But the gym in general is just an obsession to me because it makes me feel good. And like, as far, I don't think there's really a goal so far at that, but I guess you could say that's to stay healthy, I guess. Alex says Roger Bannister believed he could break the 4-minute mile. Yeah, that would be sick and insane. And that, that would be something that would take like some extreme focus and obsession over, right? Christian Shoto says, I've heard Spartans clapped each other's cheeks. Hey, dude, maybe, dude, maybe they're like, hey, we can't focus on women at all. We got to clap cheeks with each other. I don't know. If it was me, I would have just been like on my own. But hey, more power to him. Also, I think back then people were more like, that was like normal back then, right? Yeah, among the Greeks. Well, I mean, they're kind of Grecian, right? They are Greek. They're like, well, they were their own little like subhuman, or I guess I can't even say that word. RACE. It's a bad word. It's a bad word, guys. Cody Moose says that was very profound, Josh. Thank you. Sam wants Cody to know we know that with which we must become obsessed. Yeah, exactly. Christian Soda says 1,000 real fans is better than 1 million watchers. I agree. Cody says like providing a VoIP service to the people. LOL. Yeah, that would be a good obsession. And although the Oath chain, to answer your question too, because Cody was mentioning this, I do have a goal that has to do with developing something via software. I have not been able to begin on it yet because I have this kind of like rigid defined criteria that I need before going into it. But rest assured, when it is time to kickstart that off and to go, that will indeed be an obsession. All right. Sam saying yes, sticker again. X City Roland says, wish I invest in some crypto when NFTs were still through the grapevine. I was too hunger for all gains. Oh, well, more opportunity in the future. I mean, dude, it's not, there's always going to be opportunity in this market right now. Like if you're in crypto, look, all you got to do is be short the US dollar and long literally anything else, like literally anything else. Like this microphone that I bought right here, it would probably be more beneficial to stack up on these microphones than have dollars in your account. But it's all good, dude. It's all good. Alex says they took their boys at 7 to dorm and trained them. Jesus Christ. Matt says Sparta was a Greek city-state. They were Greeks, yeah. It was a city-state of the Greece. But they kind of considered themselves better than the rest of Greek, right? The rest of Greece, the Grecia. Yeah, they were like, these other dudes are plebs. Sam says to Alex, a frog with wide open eyes, turning his back and walking away. I know exactly what sticker you're talking about. DJ Chaz NYC, live from the treadmill programming on my mind. Keep up the content that clarifies the formula. All right, man. I will indeed. Cody Moose says, did you say VoIP? Because we got Claybuster in here, Mr. VoIP in the house. He purchased it legally. You can use firearms for home defense only here, but if it's used in the street, okay. All right, makes sense. As a Macedonian guy told me once, the Greeks are still H0M0S. LOL. All right, guys. So back to the Spartan topic. So we talked about removing all negativity. We've talked about focusing having that goal, all right, focusing on it 24/7, removing all negativity, all right. The next part is basically the hardest part, and that is you are going to have to be willing to sacrifice all other pleasures and activities you have if you want to have a chance at achieving your goal. All right. Now, that's not to say that you can't do anything pleasurable. All right. But let's just say you have this like fitness goal. If you enjoy something as small as having 3 Coca-Colas per day, I'm going to let you know that that's not going to get you there. And why? I mean, most of the time, and this is just like a harsh reality, most of the time, things that are pleasurable tend to not be good for you, okay? Except for maybe sexual intercourse. And again, there's many, many ways that sexual intercourse can not be good for you, but it also, I mean, it can make you give your DNA to another generation so you can live on. But aside from that, like, I don't know, I've never tried heroin before, but I've heard heroin's pretty good. I've actually had an ex-girlfriend die from heroin before. So, needless to say, most things that are pleasurable to you are not going to be good for you, right? Especially if you have a goal that requires sacrifice, okay? So, if you want to be living that quote-unquote Spartan lifestyle, if you want to be getting after that goal ASAP in the shortest amount of time, you're going to have to say to yourself, is this thing that I want to do that's going to give me pleasure, is it going to bring me closer to my goal or away from my goal? And I guess you could also say, is it going to be neutral in regards to my goal? And I would say to you guys, even if it is neutral, I would just avoid it. All right. So you're going to have to sacrifice anything and everything that's going to be pleasurable in that moment for long-term pleasure. Because that's what you're actually doing, guys. Like you're giving up pleasure now, like a small amount of pleasure for a larger amount of pleasure in the long term. So if your goal, like DJ Chaz NYC said, is focused on learning how to program, would you be willing to sacrifice those 3 hours at nighttime of playing video games to put your hands on the keyboard and get some coding done? If you are willing to do that and you're able to do that multiple times, you are going to be much, much better off. All right. And in fact, just like the Spartans, like you're going to have to give up that pleasure in order to make forward progression. All right, guys. What else? Doing something as little as taking action every single day. And I know this kind of seems like a given. And I did say earlier that if you're focused on this thing 24/7, I would say that in a way, that's at least giving up like that's at least doing one step of action. But I'm talking about something that you like can write down in one sentence on a piece of paper or like on your laptop. You're like, all right, I did this. And that is at least something. All right. Ideally, you'd like to do more than just one thing. But let's say you have that fitness goal. All right. You have that fitness goal. I went to the gym today. I ate all my meals correctly today. I did my cardio today. Or if your goal is to, maybe if you guys have a goal to acquire X amount of Bitcoin, all right, I bought $25 of Bitcoin today. I didn't care about the price. I did my work. I did that, right? So anything like that, okay? One step of action every day, even if it is action in the wrong way. And I know that it's going to sound retarded, but even if it's action that isn't necessarily going to like give you the most benefit, all right? Even if it's only just going to give you a little bit, and maybe later on you find out, all right, I can actually use the same amount of effort towards another action that could give me more benefit. Okay, well, how did you get there? You took action that brought you less benefit. You put 2 and 2 together. You compared it to something else, and then you're like, all right, boom. Now I actually am even more forward. So it's better to take. It's honestly better to take 10 steps forward. All right, guys. But if you're taking at least 1 step forward, 1 is better than 0 or negative, right? So what I would do, guys, and many, many times I've done this, and that's pretty much all the advice I can give you guys. And I'll explain something that I call the Inevitability Cycle. All right, and that's got to do with something that I've noticed in myself personally, and then people that I've worked with and good friends of mine who are all kind of on the same mindset. But guys, eventually, I'll preface that by saying, eventually, what happens is, I guess I should have said, I'll explain what I've done. I have a tendency to become hyper obsessed about something. I'm an all or nothing kind of person. And so it's had never been really hard for me to like go and get after a goal. All right. But I'll definitely hurt myself in the process because I will burn myself out and I won't even care. I will literally work myself into the ground until I am like hardly awake all day long. I'm literally falling asleep if I'm doing something because I just don't care. I'll just do it. I'm an all or nothing person, and a lot of people aren't all or nothing people. So I think in that way, it's made it easier for me. But what I would do is I would literally, and I still do this. All right. If I do have something I'm trying to get after, like hardcore, I will drop everything else that I have to go after it. Right. And that's not always for the best for you. But I will say that everything I have ever sought out to achieve in my life, and I do not say this, guys, I do not say this to be Chadwick Thundercock or Chadwick Thunderspot, like this guy over here, Chadwick Thunderspot, or to like blow smoke up my own butt. But I mean that, guys. Anything I've ever done, sought out to do in life, I've done. When I was a little kid, I think I was like 8 years old. I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And by the time I was 12, because I literally just obsessed over this thing for years and years and years, by the time I was 12, I don't know if you guys remember the Guitar Center. There's a store called the Guitar Center, or I don't even know if it's still open. I would be in that store playing guitar with my dad, and people would literally come up next to me and my dad and like try to hand me money for tips because they're like, "Oh my God, this kid's so good." I suck at guitar now. I can still play it, like a few things. I mean, I can still do like some chords and stuff. I can maybe play the opening solo of "Spirit of the Radio" by Rush, but other than that, I'm really not that good anymore because I just quite frankly don't play. I don't even own a guitar anymore. But I sat and obsessed over it, right? And then my next section was I want to be able to be good at skateboarding. This is back in like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, I think, something like that. Because all my friends were into skateboarding, and I was short and chunky as a little kid, and short and chunky little kids can't do kick flips on a skateboard. But lo and behold, I literally learned how to do a kick flip, and I was like, all right, I did it. Like I did something that probably no one else that the exact stats of body could have done, or at least anyone else that I knew. And I did that. I wanted to go and get a certain degree. I got a certain degree. I wanted to get a certain car. I got a certain car. I wanted to get a certain job. I got a certain job. I wanted to get a certain body fat. I got a certain body fat. I wanted to win a bodybuilding show. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. But the point of me telling you guys is that I've gone through these cycles in life where I've been so hyper focused on something that I was willing to sacrifice everything else, literally everything else, in order to accomplish this goal. All right. Not saying that that's the healthiest thing for you guys to do, but I promise you it will work. Right. Literally, no matter what it is. All right. Unless guys, and you have to be realistic, unless it's like my goal is like I want to be able to meditate enough to where I'm literally flying. I could fly over the ocean. All right. Then you're being bound by the physical realm. All right. And the laws of nature. So if you're trying to defeat the laws of nature, then I don't know. You might have to do some weird occultic stuff to get that done. And I'm not willing to do that, I guess. But other than that, I would do all these things. I would go through these cycles. And then what I would find is that I would dislike everything else in life so much that the only things I actually like to do was every time I got a little notch on the road to the goal that I was trying to achieve. All right. So if let's just say, let's use the fitness example because you can do it in a numeric manner. I was trying to get to a certain amount of weight. Every quarter of a pound I got, all right, that felt really good. I would literally get a dopamine rush. All right. I would get a dopamine rush, and I kind of would make that an obsession. And instead of getting pleasure from things that are normally supposed to be pleasurable, I would actually get pleasure by things that were kind of pain inducing. All right. And it's kind of masochistic. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that word right. It's kind of masochistic, right? But in a way, to me, that actually became pleasure. And the fact that I could kind of harness that, and I guess you could consider that to be in the same way that a Spartan would go after their training, made it easier for me to stay hyper focused, even if I wasn't always motivated. All right. People always have this motivation issue where they're like, oh, I'm not always motivated. I can't stay motivated. I don't know what to do. And the truth is, guys, motivation is fleeting. Motivation never ever stays. And that's a fact. Motivation will never stay. And if you're going to be dependent off your motivation, then you're not going to win. All right. You actually have to have the goal as the prize, as opposed to just feeling good. Because inevitably, guys, when I would get those check marks, they would stop to feel as good. And it would always get to a point to where, and it was like, and this is always like happens to be the right before the goal is almost done. It would get to the point to where, all right, now this is actually painful and I need a break because I'm literally dying. But if you're only dependent on the motivation, you're not going to do it. You just have to realize also, like, even if I'm not motivated, I still have to do this. I'm not giving up. I can't. I'm just not. And maybe sometimes you guys, when you're doing this stuff, you will give up a few times. And it's good that you give up. It's good that you give up because then you'll hate yourself after, and you'll most likely never give up again. All right. But these cycles that I'm talking about, the inevitability cycle. Well, actually, let me quit rambling for a second. Let me get caught up with the chat. I apologize, guys. I apologize. Jaron George says, "Yo, what is up, my friend?" Sam Pertinsky says, "Needless to say, gym is pleasurable to me. Good. Heroin. Needless to say, heroin is bad. Wow." Delayed gratification greater than instant gratification. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Chain says, "What is your thoughts on semen retention? I doubt Spartans weren't busting nuts every day. I could be wrong. I don't know. Wait, you doubt that they weren't busting nuts or that they were busting nuts? Who knows? I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, if you're in a camp, if you're in like a Spartan camp in the middle of the desert and there's no like women there, I don't really know how you can be busting nuts every day unless who said that in the chat earlier? Who said that, Sam? But they were I think it was Matt. H0M0s, rainbow people. I don't know. Maybe they were being rainbow people. I don't know. If I all I know is that if I was going to war with spears and sticks, the nutting would be the last thing on my fucking mind, dude. Like, I don't care what you say. I could be juiced up to the gills on like a bucket of Trin every day. The last thing I would be thinking about would be nutting. I would be like, fuck, I got to do what the fuck I got to do to stay alive. But sorry, to back to your question on the semen retention. What do I feel about it? I've read some stuff about it. Like, I know people like do it and they swear on it. I can tell you what I do myself. I kind of do exactly that, except I don't even think about it. Like, I just don't. The self-pleasure method, I've done that when I was younger. And, I won't lie to you guys. Maybe occasionally, like several times a year, I might do it. And I would do it literally out of boredom, but I hardly ever do that. And unless I'm releasing thine white glue, it's an organic release of white glue, i.e., it was induced by, this stuff, right? This stuff. So, and if you ever had a relationship with someone of the opposite and or, they don't discriminate, guys, opposite or same sexual orientation, right? Talking about a sexual relationship, whatever you guys prefer, whatever your sexual orientation is. And you've been, in like a relationship, maybe it's like the first stages and you're doing it all the time, like 3 or 4 or 5 times a day sometimes. And you're busting lots of nuts. You're busting lots of nuts everywhere. You will probably notice you feel like literally drained. So I can at least say that if you're doing that, you're probably going to feel drained. But like, I really don't know anything about like the quote unquote semen retention, because like, I guess it's just kind of like something. I guess it's something that I feel like people should just be doing naturally, right? Like you probably shouldn't be busting nuts like every single day, right? Even if you are in a relationship, like you probably just shouldn't be doing that. Because like that takes time too, right? It takes time. It's an act of pleasure, which we know, guys. We know anything that's an act of pleasure isn't like always going to be 100% beneficial for you. And also out of a personal experience, I can tell you, like, you're going to feel tired if you're doing it all the time. I do know this though, Osa Chain, that people do say like they feel all these like amazing. They feel like they can do all this stuff, like they can like float on air or whatever. They probably feel that way, but I venture to say that the way that they feel when they're doing that should just be normal. That should just be like the normal feeling. And they probably don't realize that's normal because they spent their entire life constantly cooming all the time, right? So like you want to stop. You don't want to have your whole life being focused on constantly cooming. And I think maybe in actuality, instead of like you having superpowers, I think that's just probably the way that men were normally supposed to feel. Like we're supposed to be like strong, right? We're supposed to be strong and powerful and enduring and resistant and resilient and brave and stunning, right? So like, you know, maybe if you need to have like, if people need to have that as like an act of something that they focus on, do it. If it brings you into that Spartan like mode, do it. But that should just be like, that should just go without saying. I feel like Christian Shoto says guitar is a cursed place. You mean the musical object or the guitar center? Patricia says Tom Sawyer Rush. Today is Tom Sawyer. He gets high on you. He gets high on you with the fraction of Earth. I know, a great voice, guys, right? Guitar Center. Yeah, I knew so. I knew what you meant. Impressive, Josh. Thank you very much. You sound like Chadwick Thunderspot. This is Chadwick Thunderspot. I don't know if you guys can hear. He's like freaking out over here. He's already been on like 8 walks today. And by the way, Chadwick Thunderspot, where are you, like? He ran away today, guys. I took him to the park, not the real park, but like there's like a mini park down the street from my house. And every time I take him there, he's a German short hair pointer. So he likes to point at things. He particularly likes to point at birds. But in Miami Beach, he likes to point at lizards because we have lizards and iguanas everywhere. So I let him off the leash and he just like goes around this little park and like, you know, chases after little lizards and points at them. And no lie, guys, I turned my head for like 5 minutes and he was gone. I was like, what the fuck? Never ran so fast before my whole life. I ran like all up and down the place. I was like, hey, have you guys seen a black and white spotted dog? And they're like, no. And then I saw this lady that I know who always walks her dog at the same time. She saw me running and I saw her and she's like, where, what are you doing? Like, where's your dog? And I was like, he's going. Like, having fun. I'm like, I gotta go. Ran back to my car, came back, found him. The lady had basically gotten him and like held him there for me. Thank God. But I don't even know where he went. But anyway, he's Chadwick Thunderspot because he has unlimited amounts of energy, and I don't think he's ever coomed in his whole life, to be quite honest with you. Maybe that's why. XC rolling. What is my goal? What if my goal is to get back with her? Wait, unrealistic. I forgot. Got to switch goals. Maybe it's not unrealistic, bro. Like maybe you actively focusing on something that you can't change. Because what? How can you force someone to be with you? Like you're gonna go like kidnap them? Like you can't do that, right? But maybe, just maybe, if you're focused on something else that makes you a bigger and better person, she might just come back into your life. You would be surprised. Light, yes, guys, at Light the Pointer on Instagram. If you want to see Light's Instagram or follow him, or I don't know, I'm thinking about getting a light cam. Actually, I have the light cam set up, but I have to get it plugged in. Do you do no fap, Josh? I guess by not fapping, if that's quote unquote no fap. Yeah, I guess I do. Again, like I said, I probably do it like once a quarter, and it's like out of boredom, so like a few times a year. But yeah, I wouldn't actively consider myself to be in that like camp, right? I would just prefer to do things organically, if you know what I mean, or to just not do it at all. Alex says Asperger's syndrome, motivation has too much emotion. What do you mean? Motivation is yeah. So you mean that motivation itself being an emotion? Yeah, I mean, I guess it is an emotion, right? And if you are dependent off this like emotional motivation, like emotions fleeting. I mean, sorry, emotions period. Yeah, that's right. Emotions period are fleeting, guys, right? Motivation is fleeting too, even if you want to consider it a motivation or not. I mean, or an emotion or not, which I'd say maybe it is motivational or emotional in nature, but emotions are always fleeting, all right? Motivation is always going to be fleeting. Like you're eventually going to get to a point where like, you know, like I don't really want to do this anymore. Like this is too tough. And if you just throw the towel in when you're like that close to finishing, here, you know what, guys, just quit one time. And then you'll fucking hate yourself so much that you'll never quit again, because you'll go back and you'll be like, fuck, if I just would have held up for like 5 minutes, I would have been totally fine. Right. But motivation, guys, it's not even a real thing. It's not. It's you. You know what motivation is? Motivation is mental masturbation. Motivation is you thinking and fantasizing about you achieving this goal. The funny thing is, guys, when you actually achieve the goal that you want, you become disinterested. When you're like, holy shit, that wasn't even a big deal. Like, I can't even like, it's anticlimactic. maybe up to the seconds before is the most climatic, is the highest peak of the climax, right? And you become very emotional, right? You become very emotional. And the more goals you achieve, once you get that, most likely the first thing you're thinking of is like, what's next? What's fucking next? I'm not kidding, guys. I swear to you, and it sounds as cheesy as it can. Yes, I don't know if you guys know Fido. He was my first student I've ever had. And he is pretty much a very good friend of mine as well. Talked to him on a regular basis on the phone. I talked to him about this yesterday because I know his parallels in success have pretty much paralleled mine. We both go through the same ebbs and flows at the same time. And he tells me all the time, like, I remember telling him, dude, like he was literally, he went from, I was listening to a presentation of him tonight in SledgeCon on Zoom, literally within minutes before starting this podcast. And he was given a presentation titled From Barback to Software Engineer. And I remember the long nights that he spent learning all this stuff, all right? All the work and effort he did, literal tears, literal almost homelessness, all kinds of craziness that he went through to get it. And I would tell him all the time. He would just say things like, if I just get a job that's like this, if I just get this. I'm like, listen, dude, mark my fucking words. As soon you need to enjoy what's going on right now, because as soon as you get this thing, because right now it's literally an inevitability and it's just a numbers game. As soon as you get this thing, you're going to be like, fuck, now I have to have all this extra work in my life. And it really wasn't that. It was anticlimactic, right? And then it's after that, it's what's next, right? It's what's next. And it's true. Guys, I bought this is my first Rolex, all right? I bought this about 3 days ago. This is called a Sea Dweller, right? This to me was a substantially large amount of money to spend on a fucking watch. But I really, really, really wanted one for a long time. Yes, it's a flashy like status symbol. It's social currency. But why did I want to buy it? Because originally to me, it seemed like it was just too much money, right? It was too much money. Everyone that had one was just some like rich guy, right? It was some rich guy that like, oh, I won't be able to do that until I'm like 45 or like 50, right? And focus for a long time, having to make, because if you know anything about a Rolex is, if you're gonna get a new one, at least, like you can't just like walk into a place, right, and just like, hey, like give me this watch, right? They basically put you on a list, right? Or even places that's like it's like slightly new too. Maybe it's like 1 or 2 years old. They don't take everybody seriously because, like, you know, to give them a large lump sum of money, they're not going to let you try things on. They think that you look like someone who can't afford that kind of thing, right? So you have to get put on a list. You got to go through all these fucking like bullshit. Like it's a pain. And it's not like me. So that wasn't really like an obsession, right? But it was something that I had a goal. It was on my list of goals for the year, for the thing that I wanted. And the one that I wanted, actually, guys, was a lot cheaper than this. All right. I actually happened to get a very good one. I remember thinking all the time, because I live in Miami Beach, guys. And if you guys know anything about Miami, like there's at least it appears that everyone here is rich, when actually, statistically speaking, they're probably really not. But I remember thinking, like, man, I really just like, I want to be able to have that. I want to be able to have the ability to have that and put it on and feel good about the fact that I was able to do something that most people in their lives like aren't able to do, right? And I remember when I got it, literally this week, I went to the store. I finally got it. All right, they had an issue with the watch. Essentially, it got sent somewhere else, and they had to send it back. Thank God they did, and I had to wait like an extra 4 days. But when I got it, I was like feeling tingly. Like I was like, oh my God, this is great. Ooh, this is great. Put it on. I was like, all right, thank you. Made a relationship with the lady at the store so that she knows I was serious in case I ever wanted another one. Walked to my car. I literally shed a fucking tear, guys. I shed a tear. I messaged all the people that I was thankful for in my life. And I was like, thank you. And then it was just on my wrist. And that was it. Like, that was it. All right. I've had it for a few days now. It's anticlimactic. I really don't even like now it's probably just something that like, just a part of life. Right. But even something as stupid as that, like most of this stuff, guys, it's anticlimactic. So you can't just have this emotional dependency on things in order to achieve your goal, right? Mr. Alex, I don't know if it's Asperger's syndrome or not, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Exponent Chill says, bro, this channel is awesome. Thank you for doing this. No, thank you for watching. Guys, if you aren't subscribed, please like and subscribe. You can leave a comment if you have an idea of something you want me to talk about, but I don't need you guys to just necessarily leave comments for the algorithm, although that would be nice. Matt W says, Spartans only nut in their shield boys. When is the shield boy? Is that like water boy? Water boy for the shields? Oh my God. Stop, Matt. You're putting bad things in my head. Rusty Shackleford says, when you aren't addicted, you can't tune it out. Yeah, good point. They called it the phallus discipline. All right, Matt, stop, dude. Fucking stop. Spartans nutted but didn't masturbate. They hunted, probably like that illegal now, but you know what happens to the women in the wars back then. All right, guys, you guys gotta fucking stop. You guys are being misbehaving. And I'm gonna have to hide these comments. Holy shit. Use it all to learn to be multi-orgasmic. Yeah. All right. I'll dig it. Jiren, I can't read that one. That's too much. My swim production. All right, I can read this one. It's probably a little bit less, little bit more PG. My plate is draining me every other day. My swimmer production can't keep up with her and swallowing demands. You're probably tired, right? Right? But I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, Christian, thank you for putting Lights Instagram in there. Patricia says, you will have a copyright hit from that identical impersonation of Geddy Lee. Dude, was it identical? Thank you. When motivation fails, rely on discipline to prevail. Yeah. Motivation is fleeting, guys. Discipline is not. Those changes. Waiting for an Amazon package just adds to the intensity of anticipation. And once you open it, the high is gone. Right, guys? Very true. Very true, right? It's literally just like waiting for packages to come to mail. And do you guys remember back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, when things were just getting purchased online and you're like, oh my God, I got this package coming in mail. I ordered that Pokemon card off eBay from China, and it's literally taken like, God, I said the CHINA word. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I ordered the Pokemon card from Japan from eBay. It's taken 3 years to come here. 3 years later, it finally comes in. DJ Chaz, NYC says, inspiration over motivation. Mm-hmm. Does everyone have a Lambo in Miami? No, they don't, but everyone rents a Lambo in Miami. It's a very common thing. If you want to have a nice car, you just go and rent one for the night. Mostly it's tourists that rent it, although I would say that there are more privately owned supercars in this city than most other ones, because it's actually a very good drivable city. Like as a big city, it's actually good to drive in compared to like other large comparable cities of the same size. That was Rigo. Done, finished, next. Yep, exactly. Rolexes don't TikTok, they glide. They do. They look cool too. Congratulations, big up. I'm getting one. Speak it into existence. Exactly. Write it. Get a board, guys. Write on your board. I have a board that I look at almost every single day. I constantly change stuff to it. And that's it. Clip that story. The cry. Which one? The Rolly story. Do it. Antonio says, now you got the watch. You got to get the chain and the grill. Dude, I was thinking the other day, Antonio, I'm really not even gonna lie. Because of the devaluation of the dollar, I was like, I don't own like any real gold other than whatever is in that watch. As far as the watch mechanics go, I was like, I should buy a Cuban link. I should buy a Cuban link, a 24 millimeter Cuban link. I was like, I'll spend $2,000 on gold or something just so I can have some gold. I would rather have, because if I am going to get gold, guys, I'd rather have gold that I can like put it on and wear if I had to go somewhere with it, as opposed to like carrying around a bar, right? A bar. Sam says, I'm timing out the next Spartan Rainbow comment. Yeah, please do. Jaron says, can you get a soundboard? All right. So the yes. All right. I will. I am. In fact, I'll take care of that immediately right now, guys. Immediately. I've been dealing with some extra bullshit from the soundboard problem with Amazon. You know, guys, Amazon kind of ticks me off, man. Like, other than the fact that I feel like, has anyone heard the Jeffrey Bezos song? Jeffrey Bezos. I might not always completely agree with everything that he says, but he isn't a bad man. Amazon has caused some issues recently in the past, multiple times, and I'm really starting to not appreciate the service that I pay for monthly. But anyway, all right. I'm getting it. Proceeding to, you guys want to watch this live on air? Watch this live on air. Here you go, guys. Here you go. All right, we're gonna buy the soundboard right now. This is the one that I was originally looking at, and I was supposed to get it, but due to several issues, I did not. And then when I was going to look at, they have this one is 15 keys. I think this is one's relatively small. I think this one is all that I need. So I think, and what I don't know too, I don't know if you can use 2 at the same time, but I think this will be, well, I know this will be good enough, at least 2 play sound clips. All right, I'm gonna take this off the screen so you guys don't see my password. You're just gonna have to trust me, guys. You trust me, but yes, I can. And then I need to know what kind of, I got a few ideas of some sound clips that I want to play. But if you guys got any, let me know. Did I forget my password? I don't know. Let's see. Yes, update password. Got to change the payment method, guys. All right, 1 second, guys. Don't forget, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. Use this payment method. Yes, we want to ship there. Yes, we want to do that. Place your order. All right. Let's see if they come through. All right. All right, guys, check this out. It should be here if this is actually correct. It should be here tomorrow, August 18th. You see that, guys? August 18th right there. August 18th, tomorrow. Or sorry, 28th. What am I thinking? Am I smoking crack? August 28th. All right. Let's see if it actually comes. Because they have not done a good job lately. And I don't know if it's, guys, I really don't know. I think you should notice all mail delivery systems, including package delivery, even the private ones, have not been doing good lately, dude. You think is it because the employees or what? Yeah, I don't think anyone cares anymore about anything. As far as work, I am good. Sorry, guys, had to respond to something. Back to we'll get to the inevitability cycle. We'll get to that. Let me get caught up with the comments, guys. Now you have, oh yeah, but the Cuban links. All right, maybe I should get a Cuban links, guys. Would you like to see me go? I would never be the kind of person to wear like a gold chain. Would you guys like to see me if I go get one? Would you guys like to watch me go into the store live on air to get a Cuban link fitted and priced out and wear it? Byron says, I was just about to suggest that Cuban links look sick as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I have a very different style than most people in this city. I'm kind of like I'm a juicy contradiction, right, Sam? Yeah. I kind of have like a frat boy style still. I'm like a what am I? Short bodybuilding frat boy. Country boy. Candy? Handy. Yeah, I am handy. Engineer, software engineer. Ladies man, I guess. I don't know. I'm a juicy contradiction. I'm short. Yes, indeed, very short, guys. I'm like 4'2". But my style doesn't match my personality, I've been told. I actually like to dress like I've dressed very white, guys. Just very white. I'll tell you that much. Just very, very white. So Cuban links would be a little like strange for me, but I would definitely do it, dude. If you guys want to see me do it. Do you deny .mp3? Do you guys want to hear the do you deny? Should I play the do you deny? Let's do it. Hold on. I think I do. I think I have it pinned. Do I have it pinned? Here we go. Let's see.
Do you deny that our leader is the most benevolent and wonderful leader in all of the cryptosphere?
Can you guys hear that?
Do you deny that our leader is the most benevolent and wonderful leader in all of the cryptosphere?
I mean, what is this? Oh, is that bad? Okay. Oh, good thing we pause it. Oh God. Oof. Says Christian Soto. Don DeMarco. Oh, that one. You can use two at the same time. Okay. Perfect. And also, guys, too. Guys, don't let me forget. I still have this thing in my cart. I'm trying to get another stand-up desk. All right. The only thing is I might potentially have to be moving out of this condo and into a new one. And I would prefer not to have that thing set up here before I move, although it's not a certainty. It's a possibility. But if I know that I'm not, or if I can hurry up and get it done and move, then I would like to get the stand-up desk. But I want to have the stand-up desk where you can I used to have one of these desks before and they were great. I like to be able to stand up and sit down at the same time, and I like to be able to stream standing up. So don't let me use that. Don't let me forget that too. Matt W says, I trust you like a doe-eyed Spartan shield boy. Thank you, Matt. Zubair says, computer science versus software engineering degree. Which one would you choose? All right. Back in my day, boy, we didn't have a quote unquote software engineering degree. We just had several different types of computer science degrees from computer science department, or actually there was only two. Well, we had three. We had an MIT degree, which is really like you learned some code and you did some classes in the computer science department, but it was basically through the School of Business. And it was a business degree. And then we had Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science, which is what I have. And there's a Bachelor's of Arts in Computer Science, which is basically like, not to knock the people that did that, but it's basically like an easier version of what I did because you didn't have to take any of the hard math or science classes. That being said, I don't know what a quote unquote software engineering degree is, but if it's for making code, then I think that probably for like real world skills, that would probably be more beneficial for you to learn. As far as like what would get you a job easier, first of all, you don't need a degree in order to get the job, but I think that either of them would. I think it's going to be about what you want to learn from. If you're actually going to school, Zubair, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Zubair. I would just approach that by what do you want to get out of it most? Because actual computer science degree, like you're not just you learn some code, but it's enough to be able to for them to teach you the concepts of literally computer science. So like algorithms, a lot of it's like theoretical computation. You're gonna have to take a lot of like weird math, like discrete mathematics. And I actually enjoyed discrete mathematics. I think it was fun. So but as far as like if you want to specifically learn code more, then I would go for the software engineering degree. And then you say, I'm looking, I see you're commenting right now. Is software engineering degree more practical? I would say so. As far as like hands-on skills, I would guess so. I don't know. It focused on software development lifecycle instead of data structures and algorithm. Yeah, I don't know. I also think that a lot of the stuff that you learn in school is quite frankly retarded as opposed to like real world application. But because guys, like, has anyone in here who's a developer or a coder or a software engineer or whatever, have any of you guys ever done your own hand-built project where you built something and you weren't doing it being paid in exchange for a wage for someone else, that you actually had to like think about the software development lifecycle? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a pompous asshole, but I have not, and I've built quite a few pieces of software on my own. Now, if you're trying to like get into a corporation and you have to like handle all that stuff, then maybe you might. But also, dude, a lot of these, like, if you guys actually, when you actually do like start working at those places, like you realize a lot of this like rules and boundaries that they have, some of them aren't really that good, man. Like microservices. I have currently been dealing with an application that's like heavily like it's based. The premise is it's all microservices and like. The way that it's like, to me, when I'm like looking at this stuff, it makes no fucking sense. It's like everything is in a different service. So I have to go from here. And there's like so much stuff. And I understand like the purpose of microservices, but microservices is supposed to be like, I think it's like one of those things that's supposed to be applied to something specific that can benefit from it, right? Not like everything. And it seems like everything wants to be like utilizing this kind of tech nowadays. So like a lot of this stuff's like these buzzwords and stuff too. Look, Zubair, you just need to learn how to code. All right. You need to learn how to code. The rest can come, dude. That's it. That's all. Literally cut it there. Learn how to code. And once you do, then you can do anything. You can literally do anything by yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? Exponent chill? Yes. XCD rolling. Orange Diamond Grill. Change the game. Should I get the Orange Diamond Grill? Can you get gold grills? Can you get gold grills? Is that a thing? White gold. I rock 14 millimeter stainless Cuban links. All right, Matt. I'm coming over to steal it from you. Alex says, yes. The Cuban links will look sick with some Eddie Bauer. Imagine like a nice suit from like Brooks Brothers rolling around with like the Cuban link exposed on top of it. That would be strange. It'd be like a juicy contradiction. Maybe I should do that since I am a juicy contradiction. Maybe. Wait, Emery says laughy face emoji. Don DeMarco. Yes, we know the virgin computer scientist for the Chad coder. If anybody has seen that meme, you need to go look it up because it is a very, very prevalent meme. And that meme speaks volumes. It is the truth. It is the way, the truth, and life. Zubair says, oh, I read that one already. Why do most software engineers have no game? Because they're very left-brain people and therefore have very low EQ. They can't pick up on social situations very well like normal people would. So instead of being good in both areas of life, they're good in one and not the other. And thus, this is why I would have to venture to say. Sam says, if you're not solving the Riemann hypothesis using a novel algorithm, are you even competent, bro? Yeah, that's what some of the SOY, the soy devs will say, like things like that. You want to avoid those people. Alex says, always wanted to write killer freeware like Blender. Blender is pretty cool, dude. I have not used it in a very long time. In fact, I would like to have a 3D printer. That would be pretty sweet. Jaren says, I wonder who was the Chad coder who created the female delusional calculator. I've seen that. I don't know who that was. Hey guys, someone go view the page source. Maybe there's some notes in there. Your boy Cliff says, being employed as a coder, what is a job like? Would you work on a project at your own pace? Depends at different places, all right? And it also depends if you're self-employed or if you are like working for a company. But yeah, again, the same. It's hard to answer this because it depends. I can tell you how it is now. Like I'm like everything's pretty hands off. Place I'm at now is kind of like the ideal setup, and if you get the job done and it's done correctly, you get left alone, and that's really it. I'm pretty much able to do things at my own pace now. If I just just had like one thing that I was supposed to do and just literally never did it, I'm sure that would be problematic. But some places you can't do that. Some places you can. That is very place dependent. So like that would be the work at your own pacing. That's definitely going to be place dependent for sure, and probably also industry dependent too. But there's a wide array, man. Like you can get most places, guys, and you got to realize like this is a knowledge based skill. It is not like and although some of them are paid by the hourly, it is not majority hourly paid skill. Unless you work for yourself or if you're self-employed, then you probably bill people hourly, but you damn well know you can't really keep track of those hours, to be honest with you. If you want to do things good and you're a good developer, like I think moving and you're with a team that's facilitative of that type of environment, or even if you work for yourself or you ever create anything, you're gonna notice that you're gonna have to move at your own pace, because if not, you're gonna write shit code. One of the things I talk about in developer direction, some of the webinars, sometimes I have this like graph of like productivity, and I mean maybe I can shit. Before we get back to the inevitability cycle, let me at least do this. I'll show this to you guys. I'll show these to you guys. Klaus has entered the chat. Somebody make a Klaus Schwab. Somebody make a Klaus Schwab YouTube account, and like get him to come in here. Maybe I'll do it. You guys want to do it? I'll do it. We have to stop the supercoders before they write the supercode to destroy our perfectly engineered economic system. Yeah. All right. So this is like the productivity graph, right? So let's just say, you're gonna spend a couple days to get some kind of like piece of code done. All right. I'm just gonna use myself as an example, but you guys might all have different time ranges and different parts of the day that you're most like the better at. Something than another. All right, so this is what happens if you work in a 9 to 5 environment, and you're forced to literally work in that quote unquote that 9 to 5 window. All right, like you're not allowed to differentiate in and out of it, and this is why I believe this is not the best, most beneficial for society. Now, unless it's like just straight up manual labor, and that might be different. But anyway, all right. So here is the x-axis right here. All right, I know it's not a good x-axis. All right, here's maybe like 8 a.m. All right, here's maybe 12 p.m. Maybe like 6 p.m. All right, I know, guys. I know my handwriting's not good. All right, so you start at 8. This is what would happen to me back in the good old times when I used to have to go into an office, and I was remote prior to the Crab-19 epidemic, right? This is what would happen to me, and this is why I didn't do good in those type of environments, or as good as I should have or could have. So, at this time, I used to be pretty good in the morning, a very good morning person. So, first I would wake up and I would, get there and I'd start warming up. All right, warming up, and I would kind of like reach like terminal velocity, like right around like I would just go parabolic right around like 11 o'clock, all right? Like right around 11 o'clock, all right? And then, going a little bit sideways, and then pretty much it would just be like a straight downward spiral from there of my productivity and quality of work, all right? And my ability to think straight and to literally just stay focused. And so this is based off of time, right? So like you can consider this little area right here to be the peak, right? And you could probably this is probably what, during like a 30-minute time window, you probably get more work done in that 30 minutes than you have the entire day. And that's not to say that this area right here, that this area right here is like bad, all right? Because obviously you're doing forward momentum, forward work, right? But all this stuff, all right, all this stuff down here, this is bad. Now, why is this bad? If you're trying to write like code that is required of you to come up with some kind of like creative idea to like solve some kind of problem, right? Some kind of like algorithm or something. And you can't think straight, you're not focused, right? What you usually end up doing, if you don't stop or you don't know how to tackle these things the right way by like taking a break or just removing yourself freely from the computer, you'll start typing things like click, 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 just trying, like literally hacking away at it. And most of the time, you're going to like undo good code and you're going to start writing shitty code. And then you don't get anywhere. And you're like, all right, well, I'll figure it out tomorrow. And then you go back tomorrow and then you're like, all this like crappy code from on this right side right here, you have to like undo it and redo it. So then you have to spend this part of this time warming up, fixing the mistakes that you made on the right side, all right, in the downward slope. That's why that type of environment isn't really what you want to do. And so if you want to, a good environment is a place that like will allow you to like quote unquote do things in your own time, because in actuality it's going to benefit them too. All right. And Sam says, your boy Cliff says some days it's 9 to 5, some days it's like 11 to 12. Yeah, exactly. Some days it's 9 to 5, some days it's 11 to 12. Depends on what's going on, what you got to do. All right, guys. So did the inevitability cycle. And people, like, you experience different cycles of motivation, but the same thing I talked about when I just talked about the Rolex, all right? In the same way that the blockchain, TikTok, new block, moment after moment, keeps going, even if that block is formed, eventually it's got to go on a new block, right? So once you achieve your goal, it's time for something else. Whether that something else is going to be you taking a break, you being focused on something else. But the thing that I have noticed and observed over time is that me, and I'm saying mostly me, but people I know very close have gone through these similar cycles, because people I'm pretty close with are very like-minded. They're very much into the self-improvement community, TRP, and the dev pill and the orange pill people. But so they kind of all like to do the same things. And I've noticed the cycle with almost everybody. You have an area of life that you want to improve, all right? You finally decide to yourself, I want to improve. And so you set the goal, you become a Spartan, you live the Spartan lifestyle. At this point, you're hyper motivated, right? Nothing can stop you. Nothing else matters, like the Metallica song. Nothing else matters more than just you getting your goal. And then you start to lose a little bit of motivation. If you've been there and done that before, you end up just powering through anyway. And then you achieve the goal. All right. And going from that space from losing motivation, so you still want that goal, but like, and maybe you are still obsessed with it, but it's just starting to become so painful to you that you're not really just quote unquote motivated anymore, right? Your emotions are, instead of pointing towards motivation, your emotions are pointing towards, I'm burnt out. I need a fucking break. And at this point, really just one or two things will happen. You will either crash and burn and spend some time in the dirt. And that time I've spent, and I call this the burnout phase. So we have first the motivational phase, and then we have the action phase, and then we have the burnout phase. You spend time in the burnout phase, and like you're either going to get there because you're literally just going to flat out like crash and burn, like your body's just not going to work, or you're just going to say, I'm going to be a degenerate for like a couple days, and I'm going to be so much of a degenerate that when I'm finished, how many people, that was disgusting. I don't want to be a degenerate anymore. I was a degenerate for the last 5 days and I'm ready to fucking kick ass again. And then you go back and then you get the goal. All right. And then the goal is accomplished. And then, you know, you're like, that was fucking great, but also anticlimactic. What's next? And the cycle repeats itself, right? Sometimes that burnout phase, guys, it can last like months, man. Like you can make a mistake on something and it can last months, but like usually right after the burnout phase, it's like that second wind of motivation, but it comes from a different way. It doesn't come from this emotional motivation. Like I really like, this means everything to me. I want to get this done. And even if it might mean everything to you still. You might still want to get it done, but you definitely want to get it done. It's not the same type of emotion. It's more of emotion of like, all right, I've tasted what it's like. I've came up for a breath of air temporarily, and I've tasted that emotion again, or I've tasted what it's like to be normal, and now I know that I do not want to do this anymore. Thank you, John. Thank you. I got your text message. Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go back, and I don't want to go back. He sent me a message to see that. I can't read that I can't read that chat. I just can't. It's too bad. Sorry guys, distracted over here. I can't be a fucking degenerate anymore. I've tasted what it's like. And it's really not that great. Actually, what I really liked was getting my shit done. And you go back, and this cycle repeats itself over and over again, guys. And that's just how it is. Remember, like motivation is fleeting, right? Like it's an emotionally driven and based thing. So like you can't ever depend on it. Like you just can't. All right. Your boy Cliff says, Sam, that's if you're working non-remote. No, I mean remote would be the same way too. Like, dude, it all depends. Like, what do you have going on? If you work at Apple, like, and you're probably gonna go like several different times through the year where like big important shit's gonna come, and you gotta be like, bam, 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 bam. You're probably like have no life. You're probably literally dying. And then probably the rest of the year, like most of the days, you're like probably like 70% of the days, you're like, all right, like I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna go work on some side project shit from other stuff. Hello, my favorite lovers of culture. Jiren says, Josh, how would you transition from a 9 to 5 to a more flexible location independent lifestyle as a software engineer? How would I transition? Well, okay, so what 9 to 5 are you currently at? What 9 to 5 are you currently at? Like, are you at a software engineer job? If so, like, I'm surprised you're not already remote. But dude, you just go to apply places that you just go to apply. Like, if you go look at any places right now, guys, that are accepting people, there's not. I've done this in my private webinars, people, and like we literally can't even find any jobs really that are like not remote. Some places will tell you, and I've seen this firsthand. Places will tell you like, oh, it's like remote at first, and then maybe later. Guys, no one's going back in the office, right? Especially if you're in tech, no one's going back to the office. I guarantee that. If they try to make people going back to the office, the developers, this has already happened. I've seen it firsthand. They'll leave and they'll go somewhere else, and then people will say, "Never mind, we changed our policy. We will backtrack." And literally, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, they are doing that exact thing. They're backtracking. It's just because they can't lose those people. People are finally like, "Hey, I actually had this really good skill set. Oh, you don't want me? You don't want me you want me to come do it this way? Oh, sorry. Then you can just look at this. Somebody ban. Thank you. Then I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. How about you can just go and do it yourself, right? Who the fuck are these people? Modern Life Dating. What is up? What is up, my friend? New Horizons. You can't be as much of a DJ as me. LOL. I don't know. I don't know. Are there more people coming in here? Oh, this has happened before. These are probably some weenies. Somebody ban them. Ban that user guy too. Who the hell is user? It says advice from transitioning from blank to blank. Yeah. I don't know. You might want to go ask your mom, or probably just ask yourself. X City Roland says, what's motivating me is not wanting to work a deadening job, which reminds me, I got an 8 to 9 shift tomorrow. Pizza boy. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, dude. Like that's what, and you got to think too, dude. Like, You want to live your whole life like that, man? Like, you definitely don't, right? We love Jewish culture. We are. I'm quarter Jewish. Sam over here, he's 100% Jewish. So, guys don't like us people, then I don't know what to tell you. Are you guys like anti S word? People in here hating on the quarter of my ethnicity. You guys, are you guys anti? There's more of them. Oh my god. Yep, they're BP people. Yeah, I don't know. Some mods just ban them. Man, boy, what would it be like? I wonder if these guys actually did something important in life, as opposed, like, maybe, what if they had their own stream instead of like, I don't know, wasting their time to go in here. Like, these words don't hurt my feelings, dude. I don't even like. I'm genetically a quarter Jewish, but they don't hurt my feelings like at all. Like, I don't even associate as being Jewish. I just associate as being Josh.
It's just creating new accounts immediately.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway. Yes, they are haters. New Horizons. Yes, losers. Losers with tiny wee-wees, and most likely have never experienced the pleasure of having their wee-wee in something that is warm and moist and attached to a female. You appreciate the stream? Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, guys. Like the video too. And if you guys have an idea for something that you want to see me do on a stream, as long as it's not like about one of these weird comments in here, go ahead and leave a comment. If it's something that's interesting, I would like to make a stream about it. Good night, guys. Peace, and I'm out.